Good evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. Making the headlines tonight, Compol confirms Emil Rivers was shot to his abdomen. Elderly woman dies in Dangriga house fire. And inadequate recording technology in High Court contributes to delays in appellate jurisdiction. We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
Belize, we're ready.
Welcome back with your news. I am Drea Espinosa. Commenting during a morning show simulcast on social media today, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams confirmed that 24-year-old Emil Rivers was shot to his abdomen. As you may be aware, the spokesperson for the department, ACP Gilberto Romero, at Monday's police briefing reported that Rivers was shot to his leg. Rivers' mother, Marlene Rivers, however, said her son was shot both to his back and stomach. At news time Monday evening, she provided an image of the bandaged wound to the back. We have now confirmed that the police report prepared by Independence Police states Rivers was shot to the leg once by PC Sheldon Arzu, and when he still posed a threat, one officer used a plastic chair to try to disarm him. With that being unsuccessful, the report says Arzu fired again to his leg, and that is when they say he finally released the machete. Additionally, DeCampo said in his comment this morning that the identity of the shooter is irrelevant and that what matters is whether the use of force was justified. We shared Arzu was removed from the force after being convicted of manslaughter for a 2003 shooting in the Keycaulker police station. He was sentenced to 13 years in prison in 2005. People have since questioned why he was rehired in the department. Emil's mother says he was shot to the abdomen at close range, causing his intestine to be ruptured. She shared that after surgery, doctors managed to close the abdominal wound. On Monday, he was critical but stable. In her interview on Monday, she affirmed that the police officers knew that Emil is battling a mental health condition. And while the police say the other injuries he had on him were sustained when he jumped out of the mobile and when they tried to subdue him, she says the injuries are consisting with a beatdown.
The police knew that my son have a psychiatric problem. They knew. They cannot be saying that they don't know. When my son started with his abnormal behavior in July, there's no male living in our house, you know. I was seeking their help, as is a norm. That what I know about as a nurse. I know that police go get crazy man or people with abnormal behavior, bring them to the emergency, they get treated. The police go for them. That what I know. I made about 200 calls. And I had two other persons calling the station to ask the police to come and assist us to get this guy to the polyclinic so he could get treatment, so I could carry out at Dangriga. I had already contacted the psychiatrist at Dangriga. We already contacted the psychiatrist nurse or doctor, I don't know if she's a doctor, here at Palmview for his admission. Police did not render me assistance. I went to the station, made an official report. 2 days, they still didn't get him. One sergeant even mentioned, I will soon be retiring. If crazy man hurt me, I will lose everything. I will not risk that. Another one said that they're not trained to deal with that. And that crazy man that the medical authorities need for train that, or the family need for bring him to the polyclinic. And I had already explained there is no males in this family. We can't bring him. He's strong. He's stronger than we. They still never assist me. So they knew from July, they knew of his condition. 2 days ago after I made that official report and they type it up and everything and I signed and everything, somebody else went and made a report. And that person saw the same report that I made right there on the desk. They don't file it, they don't do nothing. The person made her report too, and still nothing was being done. If they had assisted me from that time, he may have died at Palmview long time, he wouldn't have been shot. And the possibilities of being dead. Because that abdominal shot could have killed my son.
So you're a nurse?
I am a nurse.
So based on your expertise and years of service,
35 years.
35 years, are his injuries consistent with that of like a beating?
Yes, they are. And the situation that he's in right now is result of the shooting from the abdominal wound.
All right.
So my son was critical.
She also says police did not issue him with a medical legal form. As we shared, the mother says she will pursue legal action. A woman in her late 60s identified as Sonia Sambula perished in a house fire Monday night. Police were called to the scene at around 11 p.m. where they observed a two-story wooden home on fire. After the fire had been put out, authorities extracted the elderly woman's remains. One of Sambula's daughters and her 3 children lived downstairs. Sambula's sister-in-law, Malika Flores Sambula, told us via phone today that everyone was sleeping when the fire broke out.
I spoke to the grandchildren that live downstairs. They're saying that they were sleeping and they heard someone came to holler. They said they didn't hear this, no mind. So a little bit after they fell asleep, they said like couple minutes later they feel heat, like smell smoke, but the time they ran outside, the house was already in flames. I guess when I thought the door was shut, because she's up on the upper floor.
And she was able to walk freely? And
what happened? She was supposed to take a surgery. So she was moving, but she cannot move the way she's supposed to because of her illness.
It seems everyone in the community only has really good things to share about her.
Yes, because she was an outgoing person. She was very religious. She helped a lot of elderly. She spoke to her grandchildren and her family. She loves to dance too. She's a very friendly person.
The cause of the fire is being investigated. Flores Sambula told us everything was lost in the fire. During the opening of the senior courts on January 20, Chief Justice Honorable Louise Esther Blenman described the lack of trial transcripts from the High Court as a complicating factor for judges in the appellate jurisdiction to move cases along.
Despite the readiness and willingness of the appellate justices to hear appeals, the listing of cases for hearing in the Court of Appeal has been seriously impeded by the lack of availability of High Court trial transcripts. An unfortunate consequence of the lack of trial transcripts is that relatively few appeals are ready to be listed for hearing. As a corollary, the dispensation of justice is ingloriously stymied at the level of the appellate court. The situation is untenable and is caused to a large extent by the difficulties with the recording technology that was used in the High Courts over the years, and also the paucity of stenographer trainees to produce the transcripts. We have given deliberate consideration to these difficulties and have set in motion some measures to address them. Firstly, last year, we introduced status hearings in the Court of Appeal. Those hearings permit the court and attorneys to forge path forward in the absence of the full record of proceedings in the court below. For example, counsel have been encouraged to collaborate and use their personal notes to compile agreed records of lower court proceedings, so that some of the outstanding appeals were heard. Also, counsel has been encouraged to determine whether the issue on appeal is purely one of law, thereby obviating the need for a transcript. Secondly, we have received funding from both Pace Justice and the Government of Belize to obtain speech-to-text or FTR recording technology, and we expect to acquire that by the end of March 2025. This will assist us in mitigating the transcript issues for new cases. And while we express our gratitude in anticipation of this much-needed equipment, it will not solve the problem of the old trials. So in this regard, I would invite the lawyers to come together and cooperate to seek to produce transcripts or to use their notes or to find methods so that we can have some of those appeals proceed.
Chief Justice Blenman also reported on the concern from stakeholders that they could not locate High Court judgments. She explained what was done to correct this situation.
There were many complaints from persons and attorneys that they did not have ready access to local judgments, and therefore a website committee was established in the Office of the Chief Justice last year to recommend the modernization of our court's website. This committee was led by judges and had tremendous support from attorneys at law from the public and the private bar. We have been able to have a soft launch of our new website. The new user-friendly website now hosts judgments and provides information on our senior courts and integrates local judgments. We hope to do this also in a way that's easily searchable. And within the next few months, our website will be fully populated with more of our judgments and will feature an enhanced search facility, which is user-friendly. The goal is to include all of our judgments on the website so that all Belizeans and all litigants and the public could have access to these documents.
Blenman committed to have their website regularly updated to serve as its main communication medium for court users. The court also now has Facebook and YouTube pages. A woman got into an accident this afternoon after 12 in Belmopan due to a scorpion. Reports are that she was driving a gray 4Runner and was about to turn into Libertad Avenue when she realized that a scorpion was on her leg. She says that when she went to knock the scorpion away, it stung her and landed on her other hand, then stung her again. In all the commotion, she knocked down a man on a motorcycle, injuring one of his feet. The motorcyclist was taken to the hospital for medical treatment. After the break, a man sentenced to 26 years for rape of minor. Stay with us.
bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Last week, we reported on the $50 million in funding from the Green Climate Fund, GCF, expected to go to the northern sugar industry to improve sugar production. Among the measures to be implemented is the exploration of new varieties of sugarcane that are more climate resilient. But this discussion about new varieties has been ongoing for years. We asked if it is a case that new varieties are being found as the years go by. However, Agriculture CEO Servulo Baeza explained that in Belize, we have not kept up with the research.
I think in research, Marisol, I think we're still a little bit behind with with the different varieties that may be available. So I do believe there is the component of for research in terms of looking at other varieties. But remember also that you have different coming up every time. For instance, the issue with Fusarium, for instance, that is a new challenge right now for our farmers. So now we have to look at climate resilient, but also we have to look at some varieties that are more tolerant to the fungus. And so, conditions are always changing. And so I think we have to always be trying to adapt to these new realities, no? I mean, look at the rain pattern right now. It literally hasn't stopped raining from November right now. It really hasn't stopped raining. And so I think it's something that will never stop, that we will continuously be looking at these adapting, no, to these changes.
34-year-old Robert Usher was sentenced to serve a total of 26 years in prison after being convicted of 3 counts of rape and 2 counts of aggravated assault and sexual assault of a minor. He received 7 years per count of rape. 1 year was deducted from his sentence based on mitigating factors. The first count of assault against the minor dates back to when she was just 8 years old and continued until she was 17. Usher maintained his innocence throughout the trial. The victim reported that it was an aunt who finally believed her and reported the matter to the police. Usher had been out on bail. He was represented by attorney Norman Rodriguez. U.S. President Donald Trump last week signed an executive order which required the U.S. federal government to change the name of the body of water known globally as the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. On Monday evening, Google clarified on their X, formerly Twitter account, that for Google Maps, the name will appear as the Gulf of America when Google Maps is being used in the U.S. Google explained that, quote, when official names vary between countries, Google Maps users see their official local name. Everyone in the rest of the world sees both names. That applies here too, end quote. The body of water has been known as the Gulf of Mexico since at least the late 1600s. The Gulf of Mexico is roughly the size of the U.S. state of Alaska and is the 9th largest body of water in the world. It is 615,000 square miles in area and spans almost 8,000 miles from east to west and about 660 miles from north to south, with a shoreline of approximately 3,540 miles, more than half of which is in Mexico. Election season is grinding its gears for a start, and today at a 2-hour-plus press conference, opposition leader Honorable Moses Shine Barrow urged all registered electors to implement Operation Rescue Belize to vote the PUP out.
The only optimistic thing about the new year is that we as Belizeans can implement Operation Rescue Belize, implement Operation Save Belize from the heartless PUP government in these general elections that are coming. Belizeans will not be fooled by the infiltration. They will not be fooled by the distractions. Whereas the Briceño government has used all type of subversion and insurrection so that we are not talking about policies, but we are talking about people and personality. But the United Democratic Party will not yield to such diversion tactics. We will stay focused on policies that will make the lives of the Belizean people better. That is what is at stake in these general elections.
Barrow committed to reinstate and expand the social protection programs that existed under the Barrow administration, including Boost and Pantry. For his part, making the accusation that the police department is underreporting major crimes, Shadow Minister for Home Affairs Michael Parafit said they will pursue legislation to stop that practice.
We must and we will demand transparency. Our police department must release full and accurate statistics, and they must explain discrepancies when they arise. The public deserves to know what is happening in our neighborhoods. We will push for legislation that mandates accurate reporting of crime statistics, especially regarding violent crimes like murder, burglary, and robbery. Anything less is a disservice to the people we have sworn to protect.
Beltrade has been assisting entrepreneurs to bring their ideas to life and into money-making ventures. However, there is still the mentality among some Belizeans that foreign products and services may be of a better quality than those produced or offered locally. The executive director of Beltrade, Ishmael Quiros, today explained that they are set to launch a Buy Belizean campaign to promote Belizean products and services as high-quality options. Quiros explained that these would also be promoted online and to the diaspora.
So the Buy Belizean campaign that we're spearheading in conjunction with other partners is meant to really showcase and highlight Belizean products and to give them prominence in our stores, in our online spaces, even in the diaspora. So the idea is really to promote Belizean products as quality products, products that that are new to the market and that have the potential to really reach the export sector. So the idea is really to partner with private sector in particular, but also academia. To give Belizean products that prominence and to have a commitment on the part of the consumer to support local.
After the break, officials say statistics show that MSMEs are thriving in Belize. Stay tuned. 22-year-old Belize City construction worker Peter Amado Lara was arrested and charged on Monday for the murder of Mark Waite, which occurred on Saturday, January 25th in Belize City. The shooting happened during an altercation among a group of people who were socializing outside a residence on Central American Boulevard in Belize City. Since the pandemic, there has been a steady growth in small businesses as more and more Belizeans are taking the leap to try to become entrepreneurs. Today, Narda Garcia, CEO in the Office of the Prime Minister, said that MSMEs, or micro, small, and medium enterprises, are thriving at a rate not seen in Belize before. She shared some statistics that show how much growth this sector of the economy has experienced.
Maybe I'm biased, but I will tell you that we have seen it growing in leaps and bounds. And because we have focused Beltrade to do that, we have the Small Business Development Center at Beltrade, and we have the export ready department. We have Beltrade as a whole doing all the the MSME roadshows to give the MSMEs an opportunity to be known, an opportunity to know, an opportunity to not to be afraid to formalize, because by formalizing you can gain a lot. Before that, the MSMEs thought that formalizing was just allowing people to come and tax you and allowing people to come and know about it. People need to know what you're offering. People need to know what you're selling. People need to know your products. You need to upscale the quality of your products, and that is what we do at Beltrade. We help you, we hold your hand, we advise you, and we take you to the highest level that you can go. So that is what we're seeing. And I'm seeing that 90% of our business are by MSMEs in Belize, and 60% are led by women. So that is a great statistic. You know, 50% or more of our employed workforce are by MSMEs. So we have to ensure that we take care of this sector of the economy.
It's a difficult time for business owners globally, with U.S. President Donald Trump re-entering office with threats to introduce trade tariffs upon countries that don't agree with their policies. Belizeans are often encouraged to buy locally, which could eventually be more economic as it may become increasingly expensive to import certain U.S. products. However, many Belizean entrepreneurs still rely on importing materials and products from the U.S. With that uncertainty in mind, Beltrade Executive Director Ishmael Quiroz was asked if it is the best time for Belizeans to start a small business.
The best time is now. The best time is now to just go after your dreams and to, do your very best. To be a Belizean entrepreneur is to be resilient. And so come what may, just like let's all give it our best and put our best foot forward.
The Orange economy centers on creativity in areas like visual arts, performing arts, literary arts, cultural heritage, new media, publications, and more. It can provide steady income to those already passionate about these creative avenues. However, many in this sector may not be business savvy. Narda Garcia, CEO in the Office of the Prime Minister, said that her ministry, through Beltrade, is looking to provide business training to those in the Orange economy.
Well, the Orange economy, we had spoken to the people at Niche, and we had at some point thought that we wanted to give them some of the money, right? But our experience at Beltrade is that we have awesome artists, awesome creative people with no business sense. So we thought that if we brought them into this program, we could take them to the comprehensive, learning for them to know how to budget, for them to know how to market, for them to know how to sell, apart from being great artists, right? They are great singers, they are great painters, they are great sculptors, but they don't understand the business ecosystem. It's a complement to the tourism industry, and that's why we brought in the orange economy, and we need to develop the orange economy more. We have absolutely great artisan, great creative people. We're a creative nation, and we need to explore that and exploit that.
And today at a special ceremony, 29 owners of micro, small and medium enterprises or small businesses received seed money for their startups or to help them test the international market. The entrepreneurs were selected for the grant through Beltrade's Belize Enterprise Empowerment Project, or BEEP. Executive Director of Beltrade, Ishmael Quiros, explained the type of small businesses they looked to assist and that there will be additional cohorts in the future.
So it was a tough job to whittle it down to who, provided complete applications, and thereafter the progress was quite rigorous. Just looking at their concepts, understanding what it is that they are setting out to do, and then of course shortlisting and then signing up for the pitch segment. And so it has been inspirational. We've seen a variety of different ideas, and it just speaks to the creativity that exists in the Belizean entrepreneurial landscape. What's inspiring is the level of creatives that are actually putting forward ideas, women-led businesses putting forward ideas, and all in all, just new ideas, new things that don't even exist in the Belizean market as yet, or just very nascent. And so that has been inspirational.
What made these ones stand out from the rest?
So, providing a complete application that is clearly articulated is paramount. And of course, then moving on to what really stands out as something that's viable, but also new and creative, something fresh, something different. So that's definitely what we looked out for. And the ones that have ultimately been awarded today, in addition to having to complete their 80% of the training time frame, they really did stand out, in terms of new things.
So how can new people apply for the other cohorts?
So keep locked in on the Beltrade social media accounts. Keep looking out for notifications of when the calls are going to come out. They will be, airing imminently. So keep on looking out for when the word is out that these calls are open, and everybody's welcome to apply.
Narda Garcia, the CEO in the Office of the Prime Minister and the chair of the Beltrade Board, explained why it was important to the grant recipients to undergo business training.
We met a $1 million in Beltrade that was not moving, and it was intended to give loan grants to small entrepreneurs. And it was not moving simply because the requirements at DFC at the time were a bit prohibitive for smaller entrepreneurs to fulfill. So we convinced with Dr. Almendaris at the time at Beltrade to write CDF, the Caribbean Development Fund, and to convert this loan grant program to a grant program where people will feel more, it's easier for them to access a grant than a loan grant. But I felt that you don't give away money just to give away money. I said, okay, we're gonna give you the grant, but you have to attend sessions of financial literacy, marketing, and all these things. Be ready to either grow your business if you're a startup, small business, or if you're export ready, we allow our people to get you to be export ready. Take you through the process, take you through what all you have to do and how you have to get ready to export. So to me, the BEEP is a very comprehensive program that will give you, yes, seed money, as a startup to grow, or as a maturing company as we call, which will be the second phase, or as an export-ready company.
David Daniel Smith, a Belizean animator and illustrator, was one of the grant recipients in the export category. He explained how the grant and training will assist his small business.
Well, I'm in the export category, so apart from receiving the $20,000 funding, we also had the opportunity to get expert training and advice through their sessions, and with the help of their advisors. And I truly benefited from just getting a fresh perspective on my business. We did a business plan before, but actually a business plan focused on exporting was quite new, and so it was definitely very beneficial.
And with that, we have come to the end of our newscast. A repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again tomorrow at midday. Join us again tomorrow for another news broadcast. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.